Here we are. Happy Friday. I, for once, am actually stoked. It's the end of the week. I am usually enjoying it here, but for some reason this week and last week both have taken a toll on me. I just want a nice 2-day break. I wish it was longer, but you know how weekends are. Saturdays and Sundays only. Anyway, if you want to get a hold of me, you know you can at 208-535-1015. I was seeing some other people trying for the general on-sale tickets for Sleep Token at the Maverick Center, and I think it's 100% sold out. Not only that show, but I'm assuming their entire tour is 100% sold out. They really, people paid a ton. I was talking to a listener yesterday who I'm not going to name, but they were telling me about how they paid like a few grand for pit tickets for Sleep Token, which, I mean, yikes. But if you're one of those people like me and you're like, well, the pit's a little too expensive and I need to go find a seat, and you're wondering if your view from that seat is going to be bad, I completely forgot about this website, aviewfrommyseat.com. That's what I looked at when my dad was contemplating AC/DC tickets at the Rose Bowl, and, well, I'll be going with him to that next month, and I was looking at the specific section he bought in the seats. I mean, he spent only about $150 each on tickets for that. And sure enough, the Rose Bowl itself, man, it's huge, and I'm glad we got lucky with some great seats to the side. We'll be able to see the stage, see, you know, tiny little Angus, tiny little Brian, because those guys are like 5'2" and 5'8". They're small, but they're mighty. They're awesome musicians. I cannot wait to see them. I'll probably tear up, to be quite honest with you, because it'll be the last potential time they tour. I mean, they're in their 70s, aren't they? First time I saw them, 2008. Second time, 2012. Third time, 2016. Finally, 2025. 9 years later, get to see them again at the Rose Bowl, which is not the best venue. I wish they would have had it at Dodger Stadium or the Forum, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Anyway, we'll continue Peach's Pit Party here in just a few. Yesterday, I enjoyed my It's So New track of the day so much that I wanted to play it as my pick of the day today, but I had another track in mind, so coming up in just a bit, if you didn't hear the It's So New track yesterday, Youngblood put out this amazing song that's 9 minutes, 6 seconds long. And I know what you're thinking. That's way long. That's way too long for a Youngblood song. I like it. I'm usually a guy who's a fan of just keeping a song nice and short. I don't care for excessively long songs for no reason, but the whole thing is downright fantastic. So it's coming up for you after the break here on K-Barrel 101. So we have now given away all of our Papa Roach, Rise Against, and Under Oath tickets. Shout out to those that won, entered through the app. Also for those that screamed the weather this entire week. Congratulations. Oh, good for you to all of them. But they rightfully signed up or rightfully screamed. Either way, they earned those tickets. So congratulations overall. But if you didn't win tickets, I was looking at Ticketmaster. They don't look all too expensive, those tickets for Papa Roach, Rise Against, and Under Oath. But next week, we're doing another concert ticket giveaway. Hope you're ready for this one. This one's going to be fun, too. It's for 311 Bad Flower and Sitting on Saturn at the Portneuf Health Trust Amphitheater in Pocatello. If you want to win these tickets, there's going to be a game involved. We're not screaming this time. We're whispering this time. That's right. Whispering 311. What's going to happen starting on Monday? You'll have to listen for that cue to call. Be caller 15. You don't win the tickets if you're caller 15. No. That just means you're our contestant. We'll say, hey, come on down. And shortly after that, we'll say, okay, we have this ASM artist who whispered a lyric from one of 5 of their biggest tracks. You have to guess what track that lady's speaking. This was the lady's whispering into your ear. What lyric is that song from that she's whispering into your ear? If you guess it correctly, then you win the tickets. If you don't, next caller, we'll move on to them, see if they can get it, and eventually we'll get somebody who's going to know a super 311 fan is going to win these tickets for sure. We're going to give away, we're going to do the Whispering 311 all throughout next week. So be on the lookout for those cues to call all of next week for 311 Bad Flower and Sitting on Saturn. live at the Portneuf Health Trust Amphitheater in Pocatello. I'm glad Josh Tyler from Classy 97 down the hallway, he's the one keeping track of all the March Madness games that are happening. I don't know how that guy does it. He's able to conquer all the tasks here and also do stuff on the side. He's just a monster. He's the Josh Tyler, but yeah, he's been having those games on in the background, and there's been quite a few. I mean, I'm even getting notifications from ESPN talking about upsets, which is going to happen every single year for the NCAA March Madness tournament. There's bound to be one lower-ranked school that somehow goes extremely far into the tournament. It's always great to see something like that. And I was reading here about the origin of the madness. The first NCAA men's basketball tournament was held in 1939, back when Jade was born. But all this bracket stuff didn't start way back then. Instead, there's some debate about who invented the first betting pool. Some claim it was Joseph Haggerty, who owned a bar called Jody's Club Forest in Staten Island, and first offered customers tournament brackets to fill out in 1977 as a way to promote his business. Others give the credit to a postal worker named Bob Stinson, who they say created the brackets in 1978, a year later, inspired by his recreational softball league bracket. Anyway, it's fun to do. It may drive some of your coworkers mad. There's going to be a lot of haters out there that say, I'll never fill out a bracket. Kind of like how I feel about the World Cup. I'll never watch a second of that. I just do not care for soccer. But it is fun to kind of fill out the bracket. I mean, I think Maddie, our marketing assistant, is the one who's leading the charge when it comes to who has the most points so far in this bracket race, who's going to win first place and take home some cash from the in-office Riverbend March Madness tournament. If you want to see our bracket wall, I posted a video of it on our Instagram and our YouTube KBear 101 RMG. I meant to talk about this back when it was still being passed around in the news or pushed by the news. Well, Gene Simmons has canceled his entire solo tour due to rumored low ticket sales with high prices. He was charging. Now, there was this whole thing about how you could be his roadie for the day and you would pay $11,995. Somebody on Reddit named Not Specific 1502 commented saying $50 to $70 ticket would be reasonable with a meet and greet for a reasonable price like most of these older musicians charge. Not Gene, but an example, he took his wife to see Rick Springfield a year ago and tickets were like $65 before fees, of course. However, at the merchandise table, he was selling RS guitars for around $350. The purchase got you backstage for photos and meet and greet where he also signed the guitar. Gene would have charged like $2,500 or more just for a cheapy bass signature hello and pick. And Rick is still recording new material, so not just only playing 1970s to 80s tunes. I'm glad I saw Kiss. When I saw Kiss, I wouldn't pay any money to watch Gene Simmons' solo tour. That guy is just wanting every nickel and dime from everyone. He is the absolute worst when it comes to trying to take all the money for merch. Like, there's so much Kiss merch out there, it's bonkers. Does anybody actually own the Kiss toilet seat? I know that's a thing. The Kiss coffin, the Kiss toilet seat, Gene Simmons. Oh, this was a whole article back in 2018 where he unveiled the Gene Simmons toilet seat, and it says potty like a rock star. I'm done. And this right here is your Shot Clock Sports Update. The quarterback documentary series on Netflix is coming back for a second season in July. Season 2 will follow Joe Burrow of the Bengals, Jared Goff of the Lions, and Kirk Cousins of the Falcons through their 2024-25 NFL seasons. The first seasons of quarterback premiered in July 2023 and followed the 2022-23 NFL seasons of Patrick Mahomes, Cousins, who was then with the Minnesota Vikings, and Marcus Mariota, who was then with the Falcons. In golf, remember how Scottie Scheffler had the start of the season delayed because he hurt his hand trying to cut ravioli with a wine glass? Well, Scheffler and the Masters tournament are making light of the injury with an appetizer at the Champions Dinner. The tournament has slated for April 8th. Papa Schleff's meatball and ravioli bites comes covered in pecorino cheese and probably not blood red tomato basil sauce. The Barkley Marathon, generally considered to be the toughest foot race in the world, took place this week in Tennessee. It's 5 loops of 20-ish miles on and off the trails of Frozen Head State Park. It's limited to 40 runners with a secret application process, and there's no media coverage allowed. Last year, a record 5 people finished, including a woman for the first time, so race director Lazarus Lake clearly felt he needed to make the course tougher this time around. And he did. Nobody even finished 2 loops inside the 24-hour cutoff, and only one person even completed 3 loops inside of 40 hours. Congrats to local runner John Kelly on achieving a fun run, I guess. What weirdos. I would never want to do anything close to that. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. All right, this might need to be my to each their own question, just because, well, everyone's going to have a different answer for this. What's something people pretend to enjoy but secretly hate? Their haircut when the hairdresser shows you the back of it with their little mirror. Yeah, I remember that. Seeing that the hair in the back looked absolutely awful, and it wasn't their fault. It was more so just me with a close enough, almost John Cena-like bald spot in the back. I'm like, you know what? Time to shave it all off. Mandatory corporate fun. Definitely. I've never been a fan of any of that crap. I'm so glad I no longer work at In-N-Out where they have those mandatory meetings on Saturdays where you have to do some sort of corporate fun team building game. Gross. Pictures of babies in general for what's something people pretend to enjoy but secretly hate. Sorry, Susan, your baby looks like every baby out there. And if they're afraid to make a comment, the baby's, well, pretty darn ugly, right? Right? And people are so afraid to comment honestly. That'd be so funny if people were more honest on social media when it comes to baby photos. Oh, why does he look like that? What do you mean? For some reason, the radio prep talking about tipping again. What kind of tipper are you? Generous? Stingy? Depends on the service. Talks about the survey that has found that some generations are a little tight-fisted when it comes to tipping. We're looking at you, boomers, is what it says here. Average 16% if they even tip at all, which is more than 2% below the national average. Millennials, on the other hand, tip an average about 20%. Young Gen Zers who may be on their first job tip only slightly less at 19.31%. It's primarily the people with the least amount of money. The boomers have the most, and they're not doing anything, right? I see a ton of older people on Facebook talking about, if I have to stand to get my order taken, no tip. That's like the golden rule now, which I do understand. Tipping culture has gotten way, way out of hand. I just like how everything needs a phrase. Or you see those people that get irrationally mad when they pull up to a drive-thru at any fast food restaurant, and at the very end they go, would you like to round up to the nearest dollar for so-and-so foundation? And then you see people screaming. I mean, screaming. There was a guy in front of me in a giant lifted truck in front of me one time at a fast food place, and he was screaming, no, I'm not going to donate. That's a scam. And full on had a meltdown almost. It was pretty funny to watch. I should have pulled my phone out, but you shouldn't have your phone out while you're driving, even if you're waiting at a drive-thru. And come on. You don't have a public freak out. Don't end up being like a Karen and get exposed online. That would be the worst thing possible. Here we go. Conspiracy theory time. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. This might be the craziest viral video we've seen on TikTok in a while or ever, says the radio prep. The user Tiff's Ghost Talk says a friend forwarded an email that was an invitation to a dinner party where mermaid was on the menu. A ticket cost $50,000. Attendees were driven to a secret location by limo. I love stupid videos like this. Tiff says her friend told her that the flavor was exquisite, unlike anything he'd ever known. Sweet like scallops, rich like Wagyu, and with a depth of umami that seemed to awaken something deep in his senses. Come on. There are other videos out there making similar claims. We've been unable to confirm either the existence of mermaids or that they're being served up on platters. Come on, give me a break. People just trying to, gain clout on TikTok, gain views on TikTok. We posted some dumb video, breaking news, Idaho Falls, the falls have stopped. That one day they were shut off. We actually got a lot of views out of that video, making a fake breaking news video out of it. I should do that for the K-Bear TikTok. I'll think of something, or I should ask ChatGPT. Let's do that right now. What are some dumb conspiracy theories that I could falsely talk about on TikTok without getting myself in trouble? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say to that. Birds aren't real, but only pigeons. The moon is just a giant light bulb. Bananas are a human-made psyop. Bananas fit perfectly in your hand. Peel too conveniently, magically ripen at the same time. That's not nature. That's big fruit controlling the narrative. So a while back, I talked about how two dudes just stole a golden toilet that was displayed as an art exhibition in the house where Winston Churchill was born, the Oxfordshire country house. Yeah, they had this 18-carat lavatory. It was stolen back in 2019. I don't know why I talked about it all not that long ago if it was stolen back in 2019. Well, the two guys who stole the toilet, they were arrested. Michael Jones from Oxford was convicted on Tuesday of planning the burglary, which took place in the early hours of the morning. He had visited the palace twice before the theft, but denied that these were reconnaissance trips. Were they going to try to sell the toilet? I think that was my question when I first started talking about this. Were they going to try to sell it? People would have found that suspicious. Would they have broken it down, melted it down, and, turned it into ingots so then they could sell it? That might have been their plan. So it was posted yesterday by Lipton iced tea. We talked about this on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, but I know the station was technically off the air if you weren't listening through the app or your Google Home or whatever. But Lipton iced tea decided randomly just to get rid of their peach iced tea. Something that, I take offense by. I had the photo on my phone. I'm not sure if I deleted it or not. I can see if I can pull it up back here. It was like their statement, and it showed a can of Lipton iced tea with wings on it. Rest in peach is what it said. You may have heard that our iconic peach Lipton iced tea flavor is getting discontinued. We know it hurts. Sorry if we ruined your go-to afternoon chill bev. But don't worry, the rest of your faves are still here to keep you refreshed. And who knows, maybe one day, peach will make a legendary comeback. We appreciate your understanding during this period of adjustment and apologize for any inconvenience caused. Well, if you're causing an inconvenience, why even get rid of it in the first place? I mean, what other flavors of iced tea are really out there besides like raspberry and lemon? I mean, peach tea, a lot of people enjoy. Maybe they're redoing the recipe, or maybe, like what we talked about on the noon hour of Madness and Mayhem, maybe they're just discontinuing it to see how many people are upset, and then they'll bring it back in full force, and sure enough, tons of people will buy it. I feel like that right there is what essentially they're up to, because I haven't seen that many people upset about iced tea, like, ever. So the family of a late Florida man is paying tribute to him in a brutally honest obituary published in the Tampa Bay Times. Arthur Nixon Bates IV passed away on March 5th. What a great name that is. Arthur Nixon Bates IV. In his obituary, his family says he succumbed to a life of drugs, Marlboros. It says fast women. Do they mean fat woman? Fast woman doesn't really make any sense. And Ford Broncos. It goes on to say he is survived by 3 daughters, none of whom know how they will get by without dad calling to ask for $20 for cigarettes and meth one last time. Comments from family and friends in the guest book for the obituary include things like Bates was a true Florida man and he still owes me $20. At least they're making it fun. You're supposed to be celebrating their life. I mean, funerals are tough enough as it is, and it's real sad to go to one. You might as well make the guests laugh to sort of break up that terrible, awful feeling. Like, they're gone. And if the person has a sense of humor, make the funeral fun. That's something that I would want. That's something that I think Victor would want as well. I could come up with an obituary for him. I really hope I never have to say that. Oh, that would suck. I'm hoping he lives to like 100 years old. We can get old man Victor Wilt with a walker hobbling around. He'd be adorable. It has been incredibly windy all across East Idaho, but I'm sort of seeing signs of spring. I heard Justin from 105 The Hawk talk about how he noticed it was springtime because the houses behind the building here, one of them was already mowing their lawn, mowing their backyard, which, I mean, that's a sign of spring, right? I've seen a couple of people driving around motorcycles already. They're excited to bring out their part-time vehicle, if you want to even call it that. I mean, to be quite honest, I've always been discouraged in owning a motorcycle. I thought they would look cool. I've always admired The Undertaker as a kid when he rode the Harley Davidson to the ring. And I kind of like the handlebars up high like that for some reason. I know my arms will get tired, but I like a good old chopper like that. But that's another sign spring is coming. The bird scooters have made their way back. I saw somebody posted that on the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group saying they're back. And then there was all these angry reactions. I don't like them. They're too much fun for other people. I don't like fun. Facebook, I tell you, man, there's more and more people that I have met that have said, yeah, I've taken Facebook off of my phone just because it's literally full of people just complaining all the time. But I'm happy. Spring is finally here. I'm hoping the winter blues gets knocked out of people. They're going to be happy that warmer weather is on the horizon. I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping you are too. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, a.k.a. Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.